Are you ready to learn how to manifest more clients by changing the story you tell yourself? Great, because in this free video training, I'm going to teach you a 3-step process that you can use right away to start manifesting clients. So let's get going. I want you to, if you're willing, to close your eyes and imagine having all the clients that you want. Just imagine having all those clients. Your schedule is booked. You've got lots of money coming in. You're getting to do the work you're called to do. And as you imagine having all the clients that you want, how do you feel? How are you spending your time? What does your bank account look like? Now, I hope you answered things that feel good to you, because if you did, you're in the right place. So open your eyes if you close them. Let me tell you what we're going to do in this training. You're going to learn a 3-part formula on how to manifest all the clients you want. I'm going to share with you how and why this formula works, so you will leave really knowing what you're doing, why you're doing, and how to do it. You're going to get started, or you're going to learn how to get started using this formula. You're going to be able to do that right away at the end of this training. And at the end, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my Manifesting Clients classes, which is how you can, or where you can practice using this process and really learn how to do it. And actually, it's not learn, because you're going to learn here, but really practice doing it. And I'll tell you why I'm offering those Manifesting Clients classes at the end of this training as well. Why it would be really useful for you to consider doing them. Okay, now I'm doing this, I'm sharing this with you because I want you to manifest all the clients you want. Because I work with heart-based entrepreneurs, and most of them struggle with income, or a lot of them do. And I want you, if you're a heart-based entrepreneur, I want you to receive all the money you want and need so that you can really thrive financially and in your life. I want you to attract all the clients you want to work with so you can actually do the work you're called to do, because when you do, you will feel fulfilled, and that feeling feels awesome, right? And I want you to attract all the clients you want because you're going to make a difference in those people's lives. The world is going to be a better place if you attract all the clients that you want. So I want you to do that. Let me tell you briefly, talk about really briefly about me. So I'm Kathryn Yarborough, which hopefully you know that. And in my 20s, I completed a Master's of Fine Arts in Dance. And I spent the rest of my 20s trying to figure out what to do with my life, if you can imagine. And in my 30s, I started a career as a dance movement therapist working in a hospital. I also got married, and I had my son, my only child. It was a very productive time. In my 40s, I launched my private practice as a dance movement therapist, and then I added manifestation coaching. I started working with heart-based entrepreneurs, and I also added integrative breath work, which is a psychospiritual healing tool. It's really cool. My work's really cool. And in my 50s, I moved my business online. I'm still in my 50s. I work mostly online, usually through Zoom, which is a great platform with my clients. I teach Manifesting Clients classes. I run the Manifesting Clients Academy, and I support heart-based entrepreneurs in growing businesses that they love. So I am here now to teach you about what I have learned works with regard to manifesting clients. Okay, I'm going to teach you this 3-part formula. The first part of the formula is to write your new story, okay? Because we're going to be talking about what it is that you're telling yourself in your mind. Because what you tell yourself creates your future. It's impacting what you feel, it impacts what you do, it impacts your vibration. What you tell yourself now is creating your future. So let's talk about the difference between your old story and your new story. Okay, your old story is what you've been telling yourself up until now. It's based on past experiences and current experiences. So if you look around at your life right now and you go, oh, you know, I don't have that much money in my bank account, or gosh, I look at my calendar and I don't have that many clients. Why don't I have as many clients as I want? What you're doing is you're telling yourself your old story. And because what you tell yourself impacts the future you're creating, you may keep creating a future that looks like what you have right now. So we need to interrupt that process and tell ourselves a new story. And the new story is imaginary. It's about the future, but you tell it to yourself as if it's happening now. And the new story should feel good. So when you tell yourself your new story, you need to be looking out for feeling good, because boy, we want to feel good in our lives. It hasn't happened yet, but you imagine it as if it's happening now. So that's what I'm teaching you to do, to write a new story that you tell yourself now so you can stop telling yourself the old story and create a new future where you have all the clients that you want. So here's an example of an old story. It's hard for me to find clients. I don't know how to find clients. No one seems to want to work with me. Oh my goodness. I'm going to need to get a job to pay the bills. I can't attract clients and grow a business. What was I thinking, right? You may not resonate with all those pieces, but most people can connect with some of them. It may be different for you, but you know what I'm talking about with the old story, I'm sure. All right, here's an example of a new story. I easily attract great clients. New clients are showing up this week. Yes, my business is thriving, and I am so grateful to be abundant, especially financially abundant. Yes, 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 yes. All right, see how good that feels? At least it feels good in me. So that's what we're creating. All right, so let me explain a little bit more about how and why writing the new story works and why it's so important. When you when you write out your new story, you're practicing it in your mind. So you're imagining it in your mind. And so you can fix anything that doesn't feel good or doesn't feel quite right. So here's an example of that. When I first started back in February, when I was first inspired to create my Manifesting Clients classes, I thought, let me create a program, a 6-part or 6-class program, and I'll offer 3 different options, which is what you see right here. Option 1, option 2, option 3. I don't know if you can see them. I thought I'll give people 3 different times because not everybody can make the same time. But it was just going to be 6 classes for $297. That was my Manifesting Clients. I think I called it I can't remember, a program or something like that. But I started to tell myself my new story. I said to myself, okay, I have all the clients I want. I might have been saying 8 clients or something in every program, every time slot. I can't remember exactly. And what happened for me was it started to not feel quite right. And I had an aha. It was like one of those like totally mind-blowing experiences. What happened was I thought, you know what? Instead of making these programs like 6 classes, what if I taught these as like yoga, where people came weekly approximately and practiced writing, reading, and saying their new story. So instead of 6 classes where they go through a process and then they go off and they do it on their own or not, I could offer these classes, several classes a week. And I currently offer 5 to 6 classes a week, and I'm planning on doing more. So I did make this transition, but I thought to myself, what if I did this? And it would be sort of like yoga. People could come and do 1 class, or they could get a multi-class package, something like that. And they could come and practice, because that's what we need to do. Once you understand this process of writing, reading, and saying your new story, which is what I'm going to teach you today, you have to practice it. And practicing it in a group is a really powerful thing. It's helpful to do it on your own, but it's helpful to do it in a group. So I went for like a week going, oh my God, do I change it from what I was doing to this, like from the 6-class program to this yoga class idea where, so if you haven't done yoga, I just had a client who hadn't done yoga. It's like exercise classes. You got to keep showing up. You keep showing up, and the more you show up, the more fit you get, the better you feel, that sort of thing. And it's the same with these manifesting clients classes. The more you show up, the more likely it is that you will manifest all the clients that you want, because you'll be practicing instead of, forgetting to practice. Okay? So it took me about a week to decide, okay, am I going to change this or not? And I did. And I have not looked back since. I absolutely love the new way that I'm doing it. So now I have like 5 or 6 times. And people can come and try their first Manifesting Clients class. I have 1 class you can do, a 3-class package that sometimes people start with. And I'll tell you more about that at the end of this. Okay. So when you write your new story and you say it to yourself and you read it, new thoughts will come, but you'll be practicing it in your mind, and you want to practice it until it feels good. But also, what you practice in your mind is what you end up doing and creating. And let me give you a good example of this, because we're doing it all the time. We are all the time practicing in our mind something that's going to happen in the future. Most of us do this about different things. So here's an example. Let's talk about dinner. All right. Let's say it's about 3:30-ish and you're thinking, what am I going to have for dinner? Let's say it's me. And I think to myself, okay, I could go up to the grocery store up here. It's called Publix, and go through the salad bar and get a salad. I could go to Applebee's, which is the restaurant that's really close to the neighborhood that I live in, and I could get a crispy chicken salad or something else. Or, and I'm thinking this in my head, and as I think it, and here's what I want you to get, as I think it, I imagine each of these possibilities. They're little flashes, okay? Just think about how those little flashes happen. Or I could fix pasta and veggies, and I think to myself, okay, go in the pantry, get the pasta out, look in the refrigerator, get out the veggies. All right. So I'm thinking, I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to get in the car and drive up there. I'm just going to cook the pasta. And I imagine doing that. All right. Another hour passes. It's 4:30-ish. I'm going, okay, what am I going to do for dinner? And I flash through my 3 choices. Salad bar, get something at Applebee's, or pasta. Oh yeah, that pasta. I think I'm going to do that pasta. And I see in my mind what vegetables are in the refrigerator. Now here's what's important. Not that I'm going to fix pasta. That's not what's important. But that I'm seeing it in my mind. I'm imagining going through these steps. Right? 5:30 comes around. I think, oh yeah, what am I doing? Pasta and veggies. 6 o'clock comes, 6:30, and I'm ready to close down the computer, go fix dinner. What do you think I'm likely going to do? I'm likely going into the kitchen, fixing pasta and veggies. Right? We do this all the time. We go through steps in our mind about what we're going to do in the future. This is how this process works. If you sit around and imagine having all the clients that you want, you're going to imagine what those steps are that it will take to have them. I can promise you. And you will then take those steps. This is how this works. Okay. Now, a third way in which writing your new story impacts the results that you get is the law of attraction. So many of us know about the law of attraction. We're sending out a vibration, and the universe mirrors back our most consistent vibration. Now, our vibration right now in this moment is based on what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Okay, so if you're thinking and feeling, oh gosh, I don't know how I'm going to have clients, where are my clients going to come from, you're sending that out. The universe in the future is going to send it back. It sends back your most consistent thoughts and feelings. So we want to change that old story and replace it with a new story, because that's what the universe is going to bring you. The story you tell yourself now is creating your future. Do you get that? What you're telling yourself now is creating your future. So if you do not change, you're going to keep getting the same results, okay? Let's change our stories. Woohoo! Let's make futures that we want, instead of having the story, I don't have enough clients. 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 I need clients. I want clients. I don't have enough clients. Why don't I have clients? I don't have clients. If you keep saying that, what are you going to get? Not enough clients. So be open to getting a different result. And to do that, you're going to have to change something. And one of the things that you can change is the story that you tell yourself. It's a really easy thing that you can change. Now, let me just say this. To grow a thriving business, you also need a service that your ideal clients will want and pay for, and you need to let them know about it. But I can promise you, if you're telling yourself a story that has you having all the clients that you want, doing the marketing, putting yourself out there is going to be a lot easier than it, and is more likely to happen than if you're telling yourself a story of not having enough clients, of struggling, of why don't I have clients, blah, 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 all that stuff, okay? This impacts, the story you tell yourself impacts every aspect of your business and your life. So we've got that first part of the formula. So there's 3 parts, all right? The first part is to write your new story. Now I want to say something which you'll learn if you come to my Manifesting Clients classes. It's not just one story, it's several stories or several chapters in one big book. And it also evolves. So you start by writing something, and then it's going to evolve, because the more you're in that new vibration, new thoughts will join it, okay? So just know you don't write it once and then you're done. Let me say that again. You don't write it once and then you're done. You write it and it evolves, and you say it and it evolves, and you read it and your vibration is there and new thoughts come in, so it evolves. All right, it's very exciting. Now, here's part 2 of this formula. So you write your new story, then you write, read, or say your new story 3 to 5 times a day. And I'm going to explain why. You need to write, read, or say your new story 3 to 5 times a day, or close to that. You have a habit in your brain of neural pathways that's the old story. Life happens, something triggers you, and the old story kicks in. The icky feelings come up, the thoughts come up, all of that. All right, we need to break the habit. Break the habit of what we're thinking and what we're feeling and what we're vibrating. So when you write, read, and say your new story, you are breaking the habit. So we want to get to where we're imagining the future as if it's happening now all the time and being that new person. Okay. Now, I say 3 to 5 times a day, and let me explain why. You don't have to do it 3 to 5 times a day. All right. I want you to imagine that like this is a metaphor, okay? Where you are right now is, say, for example, on the East Coast of the United States, because I live in the United States, that's my frame of reference. Let's say you're in Washington, D.C. Let's say the West Coast of the United States, San Francisco, for example, is where you want to go. So where you are, Washington, D.C., is how many clients you have now, it's your income, it's your life, all of that. And San Francisco represents having all the clients that you want, having the income that you want, feeling that sense of fulfillment on a day-to-day basis, really loving your life and loving your work and it all working well. Okay, so where you are right now, and you want to go from where you are right now to where you want to be. So you got to change the story. Now, if you just tell yourself your new story a few times a week, it's kind of like riding a bike from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco. All right, if you live in the United States, you get what I mean. Riding that bike from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco is going to take you a while. You'll get there. You're going to have to rest a lot. You'll get there eventually. It's easy. It'll be a nice ride, but it could take years, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you get in a sports car and you drive kind of fast, 80 miles an hour, that's like saying your new story 3 to 5 times a day. You're going to go from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco. You're going to change your story if you say it 3 to 5 times a day. Okay, now I do recommend having a rest day. Let your brain rest, let everything rest, let it process. But otherwise, 3 to 5 times a day, and you will move much faster from where you are to where you want to be. I'm not going to say you're going to get there in 5 days like we would if we went from Washington, D.C. to San Francisco, but you'll get there a lot faster than if you just do it a few times a week, probably. Okay, now once you've done that, once you've changed your habit so that you now know what it's like to attract clients easily, then all you have to do is remind yourself of your new story. And the third picture is like a wormhole. That's what the picture is supposed to be. Now, if you're not a sci-fi fan or into science, you may not be familiar with the idea of a wormhole. But those of us sci-fi people, we know you go into a wormhole and instantaneously, practically a second later, you're in a whole other part of the galaxy, maybe even another galaxy. I mean, it's like travel like that. Okay, so when you have really changed your mindset and your new story has become your current story, it's what you know, all you have to do is remind yourself of it and clients will just come just like that. That's where we want to be. Okay, that's where we want to be. We just go, okay, I'd like a new client today or this week. They show up, right? Sounds good, huh? Okay, and you can get there by doing this process. Now, we've done 2 parts of the formula. The third part is to notice when you're in your old story and shift to your new story. It will happen. The old story will come up, and the idea is that the old story doesn't feel good. Now, if your old story feels good and you love your life and everything is working well, you don't really need to be here. But if your old story has you not making as much money as you want, not having as many clients as you want, not feeling fulfilled, hiding your light, all of those things, you just aren't feeling all the good stuff. If that's what's happening with your old story and something happens and you go back to, oh, I don't know how I'm ever going to attract all the clients that I want. And believe you me, that just happened to me this past weekend. I went down into a funk. All right, as soon as you notice that, you need to either get some help shifting out of that funk, and or if it's just the habit that's kicked in, start saying your new story. So you can start saying your new story, and it may take a few minutes to get out of the funk, but ideally you should be able to switch back into the good feelings within anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much of a funk you're in. Okay? All right, so that's what we want to do. We want to get back into the new story as soon as possible. So let's go back over these 3 steps. First, you write your new story, which I'm going to show you how in just a minute. I'm going to teach you a really cool way to do that. Second is you write, read, or say your new story 3 to 5 times a day. You let it evolve. You add different chapters to your story. It grows. It becomes a whole thing about your business. And the third part of the formula is when you notice that you've gone back to your old story, because those neuron habits, it will happen. The old feelings will come back. You shift back into your new story so you feel good and you're positive and motivated and moving forward. Okay, so let's get started. Are you ready? Yes, let's do this. We're going to write a new story. Okay, so here's a simple way to write a new story. You start with an affirmation. So an affirmation, most people know about affirmations, but just as a reminder, it's a statement in the present tense of something that you want to have happen. So let's say you want to have lots of clients. And here's an example. I have all the clients I want. That's an affirmation. Then you add, and this means. It becomes a prompt for writing. I have all the clients I want, and this means. So then you finish that sentence as many times as you want. Lots of things can come up. Some people write a lot. If they're new to the process, some people just write a little bit, but the more you do it, the more stuff will come to you. And I invite you to use all your senses. So I've got a couple examples. Here's one. I have all the clients I want, and this means I work with 30 to 60 amazing heart-based entrepreneurs this year. They're either doing my Attract Clients Easily 20 class package or my Entrepreneur's Abundance Circle. Yes, so that means there are lots of people in my Manifesting Clients classes. I'm teaching 5 to 10 Manifesting Clients classes every week, and there's 5 to 6 people in them, and we have such a good time because these clients These people in the classes are committed to this process, so they get to know each other and we're growing together, and oh, it's fun. Now you see how I went off and I was really seeing it in my mind and feeling those good feelings. But here, let's keep going. I have all the clients I want, and this means I receive over $6,000 every month. I'd even like to receive over $8,000 every month. That sounds even better. I have great clients who love me. They feel so good to me. My clients work with me for 6 months to maybe up to 2 years if they're going to do their whole, grow their business and design their business with me. And I really get to know my clients. I'm really doing this. I'm running the Manifesting Clients Academy. It's happening. My business is happening. Yes. Okay. So you get the idea, and you can see that I'm feeling good, and I'm seeing these ideas in my mind, and I'm feeling these things. Now that's just one little section of my epic business story. As I've been teaching the Manifesting Clients classes, I'm realizing that we have several different chapters and sections to our epic business story. It includes the vision of having all the clients that we want. It includes the experience of attracting clients. It includes things about money. It includes things about how we feel about our clients and how our clients feel about us, and getting referrals and what people think about us. And it includes all kinds of stuff, okay? So when you work with me, what I'm going to want you to do is to write all those different pieces. And with all those different pieces written, it's like you have a clear vision of your entire business. And as you say it, as you write it, the pieces start to manifest, and you can tweak it and you get clearer. Your epic business story feels good, is awesome, and will be manifested as you vision it, as you say it, and as you take action on it. Yeah. So here's another example. I easily attract great clients, and this means new clients are signing up to work with me this week. Yes, I see notices from Acuity, which is my online scheduler, in my inbox. I'm seeing them. Okay, so I want you to get that I'm seeing them each time a person signs up for a Manifesting Clients class. Ooh, and I get excited. I take time before each class to prepare well. So right now I'm imagining myself sitting in front of my computer, breathing. This is my time to prepare well. So see, I'm imagining this as I say this. I take time before each class to prepare well so I can be really present and do a great job when I teach my Manifesting Clients classes. My business is really working. Oh my God, it's happening. I feel proud, excited, a little freaked out, and I feel really caring towards my clients. Okay, so I'm not going to keep going with all of this, but you get the idea that it's more than just words. I'm working with what I see, working with what I feel. You can include how you experience, what you experience in your body, what you hear, that sort of thing. So when you write your new story, which I want you to do as soon as this is over, once you start practicing, start with an affirmation. You can use either one of mine. I have all the clients I want, and this means, or I attract great clients, and this means, whichever one. Fill in the blank. Just write whatever comes up. And then make sure you include what you feel, and what you see, what you hear, what you do, and what you sense or experience in your body, because you want to get it as 3D as possible. Okay, you want to feel like it's really happening. It's not just ideas in your head. Okay, you want to make it tangible. All right, and then this is what I recommend. Practice writing, reading, and saying your new story until you have all the clients that you want. Now, I'm going to be really honest. For years, I didn't say to do this until you have all the clients that you want. I was really nice to my clients. I'd say, here's what you do. Go off and see what you're going to do. But now, I'm like firm. You need to practice this 3 to 5 times a day until you have all the clients that you want. You may decide you don't want clients. That's fine. You may decide you don't want to grow a business. That's fine. But if you do this practice, you will move forward. All right? You will either attract clients or decide that you don't want them, which is better than sitting on that fence going back and forth and back and forth. All right? So take on this practice. I want you to really say to yourself, ask yourself, am I willing to take this on? And maybe you just do it for 2 weeks, see what happens. That's up to you. And if you notice movement, then commit to another month, then commit to 3 months, then commit to doing it until you have all the clients that you want. All right, that's what I want for you. And please practice this third part of the formula, which is to notice when you're in your old story and that doesn't feel good, and shift into your new story. Okay, now here's what the problem is. This is what I told you in the beginning. I was going to tell you why I teach my manifesting clients classes, why I think the divine inspired me to create them as yoga classes, as kind of like yoga or exercise classes, a place for people to practice, because most people forget. They forget. And I know, because I have forgotten. And I've been teaching this stuff since 2006, and I still have forgotten, because life happens. Because resistance arises. And that old story is pretty darn strong. Some people stop because it doesn't work as fast as they'd like it to. So they just say, it's not working, I'm going to quit. That's that old story coming back. The old story habit takes over. It just does. And some people forget just because they haven't committed to saying it 3 to 5 times a day. They haven't created a system to do that. They get busy. People have kids, they have parents, they have spouses, all right? So I want to support you in developing the habit of writing, reading, and saying your new story 3 to 5 times a day to really do this. And I want you to think about the possibility of writing, reading, or saying your new story 3 to 5 times a day for the next 9 to 12 months. Just imagine if you reprogrammed your brain and you were feeling those good feelings every day for the next 9 to 12 months, instead of going into that old story and developing that new habit. And just imagine the actions you take. What might happen? Or if you don't do this, and things stay the same. So I offer manifesting clients classes. All right. And this is like, I told you about them. They're like the yoga classes. Right now I have 5 or 6 different options most weeks that you can pick from. When you click the scheduler, you click the link that says get started now, then you'll see the different times. All right. If you come once, your energy will increase. This is what happens to almost everybody. They go, oh, this feels so good. Kathy said after one class, I noticed a significant change in my energy level and a renewed sense of excitement for my business. Okay, if you come consistently for 3 to 6 months, you'll break the habit of your old story probably. If you keep coming for 6 to 9 months, you'll be manifesting your new story, which means new clients are going to be coming. If you attend for 9 to 12 months, you're going to get that wormhole effect. You'll be a master manifester. If you come like pretty close to weekly, I can promise that's going to happen. Okay. I have created my Attract Clients Easily package. It's 20 manifesting clients classes. It's only $497 or 5 monthly payments of $108. If you go all the way down to the bottom of this page, you'll see the links for either one of those choices. Okay. Most people who are watching this, you may have never met me before, and paying me $497 may feel like too big of a leap. If that's the case, I invite you to get started now with just one class for only $37. Come and try a class. See what it's like. If you like it, you can either go and get my Attract Clients Easily package or my new client package of 3 classes, which is $97. You can take little bite-sized jumps with me. okay? And experience this and start moving forward with writing, reading, or saying your new story, okay? So the button right below here that says Get Started Now, click it, $37, that's all it is, and I will see you at your first Manifesting Clients class. And please let me know that you watched this video so that I know you've gotten all this training, and bring your questions to that class. I will happily answer them. See you there. Bye.